Well, I was going to drink a cup of coffee while filming this morning, but I just spilled that all over the inside of my car. Kind of sums up 2024, doesn't it? Part of me is like, get fucked 2024. We're moving on to 2025. But at the same time, 2024 did have some good moments. Let's review. All right, look at that. Got a new cup of coffee. Made that happen because the world may try to stop me today, but I'm not going to let it. At the end of the day, we control our world. We create it, not the other way around. Demiurgos Kosman, as they say. Now, let's get to 2024. All right, well, it's much later in the day now. Got interrupted by work for quite a while there, but we're back. So, best of 2024. What do we got? Where do we start? Best movie. Let's start with best movie. That's pretty easy. Deadpool and Wolverine, hands down, not even close. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, you have to appreciate what they did here. Everything was done well in this movie. Every single thing. The acting, casting, directing, cinematography, audio, soundtrack. Like, just literally everything was done well. But for me, obviously, I've been a lifelong Marvel fan, so that was kind of like a more or less a dream come true type of movie. Other people might view it differently, of course, but again, when you go back to what they did well versus other movies, and that's why that movie made so much money. I think it's like the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time at this point. They just did everything great. What about best meal of 2024? Now, that's kind of a hard one to narrow down, but when we were in Niagara Falls, there's a place there called Mario's. It's a little pizza joint, and they actually have vegan pizza there. Now, I think I put it in my video. You can't buy it by the slice like some of the other stuff, but you can buy a whole pizza. It's like $30 or whatever. That was some good pizza. New York style. The sauce was... I don't know if I've ever actually had pizza that good. And I'm not talking about just vegan pizza. I'm talking about like pizza in general. Like that was really good. And maybe that's because I was like super hungry at the time or whatever, you know. But for me, that's what stood out. That was probably my favorite meal of 2024. Favorite song of 2024. Now, when I say that, I don't necessarily mean a song that was made or put out in 2024. I mean, what song did I discover in 2024 that was my favorite? And I'd have to say, an odd choice here, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Peace, Love, and Understanding. Now, I've actually heard of Elvis Costello before. I don't think I've ever actually listened to him before, but I finally listened to that song, and it's a banger, for sure. Like, the lyrics in that are just awesome. If you haven't ever heard it, you should definitely listen to it. My biggest personal achievement of 2024, ending the 500-day running streak. I think that was, March or whatever. Yeah, that was 500 days in a row running. I think 441 of those were 5K or longer. So I had some minimum mile days in there, but man, I did a lot of running, and that streak ended in this year. Now you could say, well, I'll be honest here, that's probably what contributed to me developing plantar fasciitis, and that's why I'm not running now, but I will be soon. Actually, I haven't had any pain in my feet for, I don't know, a month or two at this point, but I'm still just kind of being cautious. I'll probably get back to running soon at some point. Like, I'm sure I can do it now pain-free. I have all the insoles that I need and all that. I'm just being kind of very cautious. I don't want that to come back. It's very painful. But let's move on. Favorite show or series of 2024? There was a lot of them. That's hard to narrow down, to be honest. I don't know if I can give one answer here. I can give my top 5, I guess. Let's do that. Okay, so number 1, Legion. Not a show that came out in 2024, but again, a show that I discovered in 2024. I think I actually heard about it before, but Legion. So it's a Marvel show, but it was done on FX. So it was like a collaboration between Fox and Marvel. Amazing. Kind of like Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, everything about that show was good. the acting, the cinematography in that show, by the way, blows me away. Like, honestly, blows me away. It was that good. But everything was good about it. The character itself, Legion, is, well, one of my favorite characters from the comics, has been for a while. So I'm, again, a little biased maybe. But even if you're not a comic book fan, even if you don't even know who Legion is and you watch that show, it's incredible. You should do it. All right, number 2 for shows, Interview with a Vampire Season 2. That was surprisingly good. They did a very good job on that. I didn't know where they were going to take the story after Season 1, but I have to admit, they did a very good job. And the ending, the ending of that was really good. Looking forward to Season 3. All right, show number 3, X-Men 97. It's an animated show, which I actually don't really watch that much animation at this point. I obviously used to when I was a kid, and that's why I waited 27 years for X-Men 97 to come out, because I used to watch X-Men the animated series way back when. But they nailed it. Like, if you've never seen that, watch it. It's very, very good. Yes, it's an animated show, which, again, I'm not a huge fan of now, but I'm kind of learning to like that again. But they just did a very good job of more or less taking something that was ended 27 years ago and continuing that story today. Like, the way they kind of just... Awesome. All right, show number 4, Wheel of Time, which is on Prime, I believe. That was a show that, I don't know, I've never really heard of it before, but somehow it came across my timeline on, like, Facebook. I think John up in Canada posted it or something, and that's how I became aware of it. But yeah, very, very good series. Very cool. And they just came out with a trailer for Season 3, which I'm definitely looking forward to. All right, and the last show that I'm going to include in my list, which was, again, actually quite a surprise, Agatha All Along. Which is basically like the continuation of WandaVision, if you've seen that. And I know I'm going Marvel heavy here. I'm not necessarily trying to be biased towards Marvel. Marvel just happened to have a really good year this year. Like, they did really good stuff this year, so I'm giving them credit for that. Agatha All Along, when I first heard the reviews of it, I heard it was too gay and that it was too musical. So after watching it, I completely disagree with that. First of all, the whole it's too gay thing. Wiccan is gay in the comics, guys. Like, what were they gonna do? Not make him gay? Who the fuck cares? And secondly, the musical part, yes, there was a couple musical bits here and there. Actually, the Witch's Road ballad is actually pretty catchy, to be honest, and a lot of people listen to that. But it wasn't necessarily a musical, like, it wasn't just musical and singing the whole time of the show. There was a really good plot. Audrey Plaza as Lady Death, by the way. Very, very good. Looking forward to her being in the MCU in the future. But again, Agatha All Along, it's one of those series where even if you're not necessarily a fan of Marvel or whatever, like Inga, for example, she's not, but she likes kind of like witch shows, things that are kind of like supernatural like that. And so she really enjoyed it as well, regardless of, you know, whether she's a Marvel fan or not. It was just really well done, and so it was an enjoyable show. So I would say, if you have a chance to watch it, definitely watch it. Best new skill acquired in 2024. Gardening? I guess gardening. I don't know. I've never really given it a true shot before. Like, I've kind of delved in it here and there and grew some zucchinis and whatever. But I've never really tried. I tried this year and I'm actually okay at it. I learned how to clone things. I learned how to do a lot, honestly. Learned a lot about, you know, how plants are fed nutrients and certain things. So I'd say that that's definitely my best new skill that I acquired, because that moving forward is something that I can use. I can grow things. I've already grown bell peppers and things like that I can consume, and I also got the seeds out of those bell peppers, so now I get to reproduce even more. So it's pretty fun. It's a lot of work though. All right, let's do one more. Best new product or app that I started using or discovered in 2024. And I'm just going to say AI assistants. Regardless of which one you pick, I use Gemini myself, and maybe I'll get into a video about that, about why you want to pick one over the other. But AI assistants are incredibly helpful and definitely worth the $20 a month or whatever that they charge for the premium version. they can do a lot. My AI assistant helps me make recipes, helps me with video ideas. The reason why I'm doing this video, actually the best of 2024, was something that me and my AI assistant kind of crafted up ourselves. And coding, programming, I know that's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but if I need some code written for a web page or whatever, and I don't necessarily want to do it myself, my AI assistant can actually do that for me if I tell him what to do. Also, if I have code that I'm not 100% sure of, I can obviously run it through their system and have them debug it or look for mistakes, whatever. Just very, very handy overall, and they're only getting better. So if you've never actually explored the idea of an AI assistant, do it. Very, very fun. I recommend Gemini at the moment. There's other ones, obviously Copilot, and Apple has one, I'm sure, and there's probably others, but Gemini is the one that I use. Very, very good. All right, everybody. Well, it's time for me to go in the house and make dinner and all that stuff and settle in for the night. Thank you for watching, though. I definitely appreciate it. I would love to know what your best of 2024 was, whether you leave that in the comments or whether you make a video about it and say, here's the link to my video about it in the comments. I don't care. But let me know. What was the best part of 2024 for you? Thank you, everybody, for watching again. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, take care.
Hey there. Pat yourself on the back for making it this far into Chris's video. These vlogs of his can get pretty lengthy sometimes. Anyway, don't forget to like this video and please click the subscribe button. It's always free and it is the best way to support content creators like Chris the plant-based runner. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, safe travels.